I'm Rafe Blandford and we're here at SEE2009, the Symbian Exposium and Exhibitions Show. I'm the editor of All About Symbian and I'm about to take you on a walkabout around the show. So let's get going. I think the first thing we'll just mention, our left-hand side, is the Nokia stand. But we've already watched the Nokia World video, so we already know that everything's on that stand. Behind us we have Imagination Technology. These are the guys that do the Power VR graphics. They're inside pretty much every leading smartphone, the OpenGL ES 2.0 stuff. If you're doing a 3D game, you know, they've got some SDKs and stuff, so an important one for developers. Moving on, we've got the Teleca guys, who are basically system integrators and doing a lot of consultancy work in the Symbian world. We're going to get a lot of those companies because that's what the show is really all about, but Sidoc is one of the well-known Symbian developers, and I know that they're showing off their World Traveller application, to which they've just added a flights mode, which is going to be premium content. Behind us, if we just swing around this way, is Coverty, which does their code analysis, looking for problems in developers' code. It's all an automated system, very powerful software that's used by a lot of Symbian developers. We're now just going past the Opera stand, who of course are showing off their web browser stuff, both Opera Mini, which is the world's most popular mobile browser according to Opera, many millions of users, but they're also showing off some of their Unity stuff on the desktop. And of course they have a powerful widget solution that's used on a variety of phones, including a lot of the Vodafone handsets at the moment. On the right hand side we have F-Secure, which is the antivirus application company. Now whether you actually need antivirus on a phone is completely debatable given the security platform, but we won't get into that right now. In the middle here we've got the biggest show stand, and Sony Ericsson. Now the interesting thing is Symbian don't really have much of a show here. They've got some stuff around the edges, but in contrast to previous years we aren't getting the technology demos. That rather reflects the fact that Symbian isn't showing the technical demos. It's now the non-profit foundation. It's behind the scenes and it expects all the people contributing to the Symbian Foundation to have a stand rather than doing it itself. So if we just come up here past the Sony Ericsson stand, what we've got really is the Sony Ericsson iDo, and I'm sure there's one on the stand, but we'll look at this one here as it's nice and easy. This is really the first Symbian Foundation handset from Sony Ericsson. I was talking to them today. There's a lot more to come. There's an interesting developer story in the Play Now arena, and that's effectively Sony Ericsson's application store, and that's how developers can make money on this phone. And as I say, there is a lot more to come from Sony Ericsson, so good stuff there from Sony Ericsson. Mobica on my right, your left-hand side here. Again, it's another company that provides consultancy. You can get a bespoke application developed by them very quickly indeed. So we'll head this way because we've got Samsung Mobile behind us, who of course it's the i8-910, the Samsung Omnia HD, but we've also got the future of mobile, the Symbian idea, which is ideas.symbian.org. So what's that about? And this is where Symbian is getting the community to suggest ideas about what should happen next on their mobile phone, what ideas you'd like to see. And this is going to go up on ideas.symbian.org. And you can see here there's hundreds, literally, of post-it notes. So let's choose one. I want more touchscreen games as the iPhone did. So yeah, you know, iPhone being mentioned, of course, really great gaming platform there. And here's another one, make the UI look like a 3D cube with apps, gallery and settings. Some really great ideas here. I want to see better predictive test entry on my phone. What else have we got? Support over-the-air charging. Yes, that'll be a cool one that we'd like to see. I want Symbian to fix and improve app download and installation process. It's too clunky for the average consumer. Yes, whoever your name is, G-French, absolutely, we agree with that one. We'd love to see apps be able to download it more easily. So let's go on to the next stanza, but you can contribute your own ideas here if you want to. That's ideas.symbian.org, completely open to anyone. So we'll just move around the corner here to the Samsung Mobile stand, where of course they're showing off various things, but they've also invited their partners along. So I know we've got SPB Software here, who do some great software for the Symbian platform, including SPB TV, which uses 3G multicasting to deliver TV to your phone. There's also various other software applications, so they do a great job on the Symbian platform. WeCom, they're the company that delivers Sky onto your mobile phone. So if you live in the UK, you can get Sky Plus effectively on your phone, remotely set things to record on your Sky phone, also get live streaming of a certain number of the Sky channels. And the Samsung i8-910, this was the device that was announced at 3GSM this year. It's well known, it's running an incredibly high hardware platform. It can do HD recording, and it's, you know, a bog standard Symbian phone in some ways. But the interesting thing is I had a quick chat with Samsung and they said there's more software updates on the way that will include battery life which will improve battery life, and they see this as their Symbian platform phone which they can build on for the next year. So although Samsung haven't announced any hardware here, and there's some sort of rumours around the fact that Samsung are giving up on Symbian, they're saying that they're a founder member of the Symbian Foundation and that they're still committed to the platform. I think it's probably fair to say it's not a primary platform for them, but they've always been platform agnostic, and the message from Samsung here is that that is going to continue to go on. And the big news from Samsung for this show is the Samsung Mobile Innovator have been working on their App Store. They've now delivered a catalogue of, I think, over 500 applications which will be available on the phone. And we can see this being advertised behind us here on the screen here. It's for Windows Mobile, for Symbian, and also the Java versions. So there's a lot of interesting stuff there. The Samsung phones there, some of which are now available on the market. The Omnia phones, that's a Windows Mobile one. But Samsung have been working very hard, and again, it's, you know, we saw the same thing with Sony Ericsson, engaging developers, getting them to the money, which is an important thing. So, just looking behind us, I know we've got Keypoint Technologies, which does predictive text, and they're giving away a free giveaway at the show here, and what they're doing is basically they can make bespoke dictionaries. So if you want to have a dictionary for a specific technical topic, they can create it for you, which for an enterprise company, if you want to have a dictionary specifically for your company's language, you know, all the technical things that wouldn't be in a normal T9 dictionary, this is the company that you need to speak to. So they do a lot of interesting stuff, particularly in the enterprise market, but also more generally for consumers. So we've just come around to the other side of the Samsung stand, where you can see they're having a massage going on. Vital thing when you're at a conference show like this, you need to be able to relax when after a long and stressful day. We can see many participants enjoying their relaxing massage, courtesy of Samsung Mobile. So we'll spin around here and just have a quick look at the title up here. This reflects the changing nature of the Symbian show. Open source business models. Of course, the Symbian Foundation is moving to open source. 16 packages out of about 100 so far have gone open source, including the microkernel, EKA2 I believe it's called. And that's an interesting one. It's industry leading. Symbian reckon their kernel is about 2 years ahead of everybody else. But the fact that they're talking about open source and how do you build a business around it. Symbian may be non-profit, but they know that all their partners want to create a business around it, and Symbian's in the volume game. More phones running the Symbian platform than any other smartphone platform, and that's what they're talking about here. What have we got here? We've got Immersion. These are the touch sort of interface specialists, and they do some interesting things with touch platform. And yes, they're demonstrating on the various Omnia phones and some of the Japanese Symbian phones. So yeah, Immersion do a great job with the touch technology, and also used, of course, in some of the Apple products as well, I believe. And if we spin round just a little, we'll look up at ST Ericsson. Why do we care about ST Ericsson? Well, they're creating something called the, let's make sure I get the name right, the U3850, which is a reference platform for smartphones, but it includes multi-core processors. So that's something that's going to be important next year in improving both the performance and battery life of phones. And I think it's probably a fair bet that Sony Ericsson's future Symbian phones are going to be running on that very platform. Another of our favourite companies here, Device Anywhere, making life easier for developers. Basically what it enables you to do is use a phone via the web, do your testing without actually having to own the phone. There's an example of their testing rig there with a Sony Ericsson phone. And yes, I think we've outstayed our welcome here, so we better move on.